Cardell Sims. For those you all didn't see me yesterday, today's topic we're going to be talking about is reimagining reentry. What does the reentry look like from this point out? The future of reentry, what does reentry look like? Along with the innovative strategies for success when it comes to reentry. This is a recap of who I am. I'm Cardell Sims. I am the founder of On the Inside Reentry Academy that runs here in Missouri, the WRDCC, and also in Kingman Prison in Arizona. I'm the founder of I'm the host of On the Inside Empowerment Workshops, where we went to 8 different states, hosted over 34 workshops, reentry workshops on every hour. 1 hour we do vision board goal setting. When I talk about the workshops, I don't mean we just went in there and spoke. We actually went in there and we were doing work. So when you left out my part of the workshop, we had a goals and a vision for 6 areas of your life, written down with steps to start working on that areas. Then we had a guy do career readiness. Then you got done with his workshop. You had a resume built. You did motivational interviewing skills, things of that nature. Then we had a guy do entrepreneurship. When you left out of his workshop, you had elevator pitch, and you had the 5 necessities, whether it's where to go and start a domain for your website, how to register your website, whether it's business, whether it's LLC, nonprofit, corporation, things of that nature. Then we had parenting. We left the parenting workshop. You had the steps that you need to do to restart, repairing, and rebuilding your relationship with your children. That part of the workshop was the most impactful. That's the part of the workshop where we shed tears and everybody was going over things that they lost with their children while they were incarcerated. So I really love doing that, hosting that tour, because we was able to go across the country and show those on the inside what life can be like after incarceration if you apply yourself. I'm also a reentry consultant, master certified empowering life coach, a 9-time author. I have 3 self-help books, 3 novels, and 3 workbooks. And then I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm the head of reentry advocacy for Sober and 40, which is a good topic for what we're going to be talking about today. Sober and 40 is a 40-day addiction program, whether it's sexual addiction, gambling addiction, alcohol addiction, drugs, any form of addiction. It's a 40-day program that you can download the app, and you do on the app. 10 minutes out your day, you wake up, you get on there, you watch the video, then you answer questions. The questions are developed on how you answer. So the follow-up questions will determine how you answer the first question. And so, which goes with the technology in reentry field today. And so reimagining reentry, we're going to go over 3 topics. We're going to go over a holistic approach. Then we're going to talk about beyond supervision. And then we're going to do technology for transformation. So reimagining reentry, a holistic approach. Before we get off in the holistic approach, because this ties in with the holistic approach, I asked yesterday how many people I heard are taking the ACE test. I see hands again. How many people heard? So I want to go through these questions, because when we talk about a holistic approach, we're talking about who's all involved, the key stakeholders, but most importantly, we're talking about underlying issues. Successful integration involves addressing multiple interconnected aspects of a person's life, not just their crime, not just their children, or anything else, but we can't just focus on isolated issues. The reason why they got locked up, you filed the bank, you did this. And so part of that holistic is getting to understand the core, getting to the roots. So I just want to run through these questions, and you can write, if you want to answer them, you want to write them down, write them down. But these, I recommend that you have a client, case management, probation and parole, reentry programs in general. You should have this questionnaire to those in your class and to your clients. So I'm going to run through these questions, and if you want to answer them, you can. And understand, if you get 4 of these, you are a high risk for toxic stress. High risk for toxic stress. And so the first question is, and these are all related to while you were growing up during the first 18 years of your life. Did a parent or other adult in the household swear at you, insult you, put you down, humiliate you, or act in a way that made you afraid that you might be physically hurt. If that happened in your childhood, that's a warning for you. While you was growing up, in your first 18 years, did a parent or other adults in your household often swear at you, insult you, put you down, humiliate you, or act in a way that made you afraid that they might physically hurt you? Number 2, did a parent or other adult in the household often push, grab, slap, throw something at you, or ever hit you so hard that you had marks or were injured? That happened to you? That's another mark. Number 3. Okay. Okay. Number 3. So number 3. Did an adult or person at least 5 years older than you ever touch or fondle you, or have you ever touched their body in a sexual way, or try to or actually have oral, anal, or vaginal sex with you? If that happened to you, that's another mark. Number 4, did you often feel that no one in your family loved you or thought you were important, or your family didn't look out for each other, feel close to each other, or support each other? If that was in your growing up, that happened, that's another mark. Number 5, do you often feel that you didn't have enough to eat, had to wear dirty clothes, and had no one to protect you, or your parents were too drunk or high to take care of you or take you to the doctor? That's another one. Number 6, were your parents ever separated or divorced? Number 7, was your mother or stepmother often pushed, grabbed, slapped, or had something thrown at her, or sometimes or often kicked, bitten, hit with a fist, or hit with something hard? Number 8, did you live with anyone who has a problem drinking, or alcoholic, or who used street drugs? Number 9, was a household member depressed or mentally ill, or did a household member attempt suicide? And the last question, did a household member go to prison? Then on the 10 ace question. Reason why I suggested you asking questions to your client, because like I said, if you score 4 or higher, you have toxic stress. And you have never been taught the way to deal with that stress. A lot of times that toxic stress in that household drives them to alcohol abuse, drugs abuse. If they were sexually abused, they end up becoming a sexual predator as well. So these are important to know this, because on the holistic approach, we're talking about multi-dimensional support and collaboration, addressing various needs simultaneously, involving multiple stakeholders. We are the stakeholders. We are the stakeholders. From the beginning, the judges, police, county jail, prison, and the aftercare, probation, parole. We are all stakeholders. Employers, stakeholders, education departments, stakeholders. We are all stakeholders in the reentry and helping those get their life back in order. And so, why holistic matter is because, like I said, we address various needs simultaneously, involving multiple stakeholders, corrections, community organizations, families, and the individuals themselves. Individualized planning and addressing the roots. This is where the ACE test comes in at, addressing the roots. A lot of times we're looking at the actual, the reason why they got incarcerated, and we're not looking at the actual roots. So when they come into prison, this is to give an example. So if you score 8 out of 10 on the ACE test, you turn the alcohol to hide, mask the pain, to cover up, to deal with the pain. It becomes worse, you move the drugs. You catch case, you go to prison, you go to a level 5. You see somebody get stabbed standing next to you. You see the drugs, uses going on. And then you get released and you ain't dealt with none of that. What's things gonna happen? I'm gonna come back. Addressing the root issue helps us understand where do we start? Where do we start? What is it that you are dealing with? How can we help you? And so that's part of why holistic matters. Then we start working on individualized planning, just like tailored interventions to each person's unique. I said it yesterday, we can't take the one shoe fits all approach anymore when it comes to reentry. But then we also have to go past the old time. Like I said, that when I was getting out of prison, this was reentry right here. Look here. Don't catch no case, don't use no drugs, find a job. That was reentry. I hate to say it, a lot of people still take that same approach. Don't use, don't catch no case, get a job. But it's not just that simple. Because you're telling someone who might not know how to walk into an appointment field, sit down, have an interview. They might have ADHD, they might be suffering from anxiety and stress. For example, I mentor a guy named Mr. Walker. He did 31 years in prison. He's in Arizona, 31 years. He's 54 years old. He got out of prison, he said, Mr. Sims, I don't know what to do. Street lights all I know. I'm gangster to the core. I asked him, Mr. Walker, what would you like to do? If you had everything lined up for you, what would you like to do? He said, I would like to get involved in electrician. I'm going to be an electrician, and engineering, and things like that. And so as I'm starting to mentor him, now understand, I got to start with him from the very beginning. What we take, using your phone, for example. For us, we all know how to use the phone. For him, I got to start him on how to put a number in his phone. This is how you put the number in your phone. Let's work on, forget the social media and all that. Let's work on putting the number in your phone, the contact. You need the PO number in there. You need my number in there. You need the voc rehab caseworker's number in there, and all that. He can't come down and we can't just start saying, Mr. Walker, we need you to get a job. Oh, we got to get Mr. Walker together first so he can be able to function in the workforce environment. He just did 31 years in prison. He's a stone cold. He was not now, but when he got out, he still had that stone cold prison mentality. Meaning, if you put him directly in the workforce that doesn't fit him, somebody in the workforce says something to him or bump him the wrong way, because he hasn't been fully prepared, he's liable to strike out and lash out. He calls me, he said, Mr. Sims, man, what do I do? I went to go get something to eat. And I'm standing in line, I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting upset, I'm getting mad, my anxiety started to kick in. I said, what's going on? He said, I'm standing here looking at the menu. He says, I've been living off the same menu for 31 years. I never had to choose. I went down to the child hall, they had the food. Now I'm standing here, I got options, I ain't had to make decisions. I don't really know what to do, and I feel like I'm holding up the line. So he removed himself from the line because he was getting anxiety standing there trying to figure out what he needed to eat because he was living off the menu in prison for 31 years. These are the type of things you have to address on a holistic approach. It has nothing to do with working, it has nothing to do with substance abuse, it has nothing to do with catching a new case. It has something to do with being able to adjust and addressing his root issues. Another thing, he told me, he said, Mr. Sims, man, I went to the restroom, I was at Walmart, and I was getting mad, I was getting frustrated, and I was about to tear the toilet off the wall. What are you talking about, Mr. Walker? He said, well, I spent 10 minutes trying to figure out how to flush the stool. He said, when I walked away, it flushed itself. Right? See, we don't think about these things. But when you're dealing with someone who's been incarcerated for a long time, these things matter. And if they haven't had any type of coping skills, how to manage these things, they're going to result back to whether it's physical, whether it's the alcohol or the drugs, to deal with the anxiety, the things they have to face. And this is the purpose and the point of holistic, because on the holistic side, we also talk about continuity of care, the long-term perspective, beyond supervision, starting while they're incarcerated, but continue it once they're out, and following up. And so let's talk about beyond supervision, building a supportive ecosystem, the role of communities. The role of community is one of the most crucial roles that there is when it comes to reentry is because these are the people that's going to have the organization, your community organization. You're going to have community organizations that's going to help you with, like, you got vocational rehab, community organizations, you're going to have neighborhood organizations. You see a lot of people who are formerly incarcerated coming out of prison starting nonprofit organizations to help those coming out of prison. So the community organizations play a big role. They're going to provide services, they're going to provide support, they're going to provide a feeling of, I got a place to go, a sense of belonging, a welcome, especially those community organizations are ran by those who are formerly incarcerated. So when we think about the role of the community, and you're looking at your client, you're looking at those that's coming out of prison, you have to look at the environment that they're coming into. Does their neighborhood have any type of community resources? Right? When I got out of prison, I went right back to the same neighborhood, same block, same gang. I did it 4 times before I got it right. Every time I did it, I went back to prison. But not only that, in that neighborhood I was going back to, we ain't got no stores, we ain't got no programs, we ain't got nothing but a bunch of houses and empty lots. So I couldn't walk out of my house and go to a community organization in the neighborhood, because we didn't have one. If I didn't have no ride, my transportation and getting across town to it, I wouldn't have made it. So now we have to start figuring out how many have transportation problems. How many of y'all know about the LIFT program, free program? LIFT has a free program that they will take you to your job interviews for free. If you have a follow-up interview, take you there for free. And if you get the job, they're going to give you free rides to work for 3 weeks. If you don't know about that program and you work with someone who's coming out of prison, you need to know about the things, right? That's part of the key stakeholders. We don't think about it, but that's part of the key stakeholders. Your client, I ain't got no ride. I done been there. I ain't even got a ride, no job interview. There you do. We're going to call LIFT. We're going to get you in that LIFT. We're going to get you over there. If you get the job, they're going to take you there for 3 weeks. And in that time, we should be able to figure out how to get you to and forth, back and forth to work. Bus passing. All these are key stakeholders, role of the community. Now, who are the key stakeholders? As we talked earlier, employers. We got to get the jails to work with, we got to get probation and parole. Most of the time, they don't want to work with the employees. Right? Then we have education. What we see now, and what I was talking about yesterday, what we have seen brought back into correction is education. People are able to get their degrees. But once they want to get out and further their education, go to the AA, okay, we got our AA, but I want to get out and I want to continue my education. It's important for us to be connected to the educators, to the colleges, to the schools. Some people get out, they don't have their GED. Yeah, they put forth the effort while incarcerated, but they didn't get it done by the time they were released. Or you connected to the GED programs on the outside, the colleges and things of that nature. These are part of the key stakeholders. Mental health, as y'all know, this is the biggest one for me, dealing with the ACEs. If you bring that ACE test to your client and they answer 4 or more, you should be connected with the mental health professionals. I believe what we're starting to see now is more mental health professionals inside the institutions, because that's where they need to be. For me, reentry starts on the inside. A lot of these things that I'm going to be speaking about have to be connected and started in from the inside. So once they walk out, they are already in motion. They are already heading their way in the right direction. And we on the back end, for those on the outside with the probation and parole, the community organizations, we're on the back end and we know where they're at and we know what they need. So when they come out, we already got the information, we already got their needs, their wants, what has to be addressed, and we got them in line. Give them a mentor. Now we got someone to push and follow them up with that they feel that they trust enough to be transparent with. And then next is strategies for building and maintaining partnerships. Well, how do we all connect and build these partnerships and maintain them? Because we know partnerships we build, sometimes they fall by the wayside, only because we don't even people continue communicating. We might send one person over there, 2 people over there, and then we think everything's going good. We forget about who, not actually forget about who you sent to, but just putting them on the back burner, and before you know it, you done lost contact, relationship, that person probably got moved to a higher position, went somewhere else, all because we didn't keep in touch and communicate with each other. That's the number one thing when it comes to strategy for building and maintaining relationships. Open communication and trust building. The trust building part is trusting that you have the same interests, best interests for the client that I have. We know some people don't have the empathy. Some people you work with don't have the empathy that you may have. Some people that you work with might not have the understanding. So you have to build relationships and trust build with others to make sure that you all have that understanding, to make sure that you all on the same page. Because if not, how many times I don't even want to see you over there, I don't trust them. You don't want that type of person in the circle if you don't trust him, regardless of the resources or not. Because it's a reason why you don't trust him. And so next we have shared goals and vision. This is what we have to do. We all have to get on the same line. We also have, everyone here has to have the same vision, same goals. To me, that's making sure those who are incarcerated get the best resources, the best help that they need, that they don't return to prison again. I said yesterday, to me it's not about walking down probation and parole. It's about never returning to prison again. Putting yourself in a lifestyle that lets you know that you're not going to return to prison again. How do we do that? Next, we talk about networking and relationship building. And that goes back to communication. A lot of times we don't have the network because we simply just didn't reach out to nobody. We simply didn't reach out to or connect with a person with their resources. I talked to a lot of you all, I'm going to be honest, I talked to a lot of you all yesterday after I spoke. I can guarantee you probably 10% of you all will reach out to me from this point out. This point out. Walk in hope. Walk in hope, I am, for those on the inside. Mentorship. I stress mentorship is important because after incarceration, who are they going to talk to when they feel like they can't talk to their case manager, their PO? Who are they going to be transparent with when they need to cut the PO off out or something, but they can't do that. You know, you got mentors like me, like, yeah, how can you get it out? But now look at it this way. Why do you think they on you like this? What are you doing? Right? But it's all about connecting, building relationships. The more people that you got in, one head is better than, two heads is better than one, right? And then we all key stakeholders. So why are we not building? It don't matter if you work in this prison or if you work in that. You might have something going on in this prison that's working that we don't have over here. We need to utilize this. But how are you going to know if you're not building relationships, if you're not communicating with each other? Next, showcasing success and recognizing contribution. And that's what it's all about. Showcasing the success and recognizing the contribution that each one of us brings in that, on that goal, in that vision to be successful. Right? Recognizing, yeah, this organization did this. This PO implemented this strategy. This prison added this program or added this part on their tablets or whatever. But it's all about sharing it and having a success. Because what we're trying to do and what we're focusing on is building an ecosystem. An ecosystem for those while they're incarcerated to connect with once they get out. And it starts all from while they're incarcerated. The ecosystem, from the case manager to the institutional parole, down to the environment of the prison. Because if you got an environment in the prison that ain't conducive to growing, then what's going to happen? They're just going to be running around not doing nothing.